In Algebra 1, Section 3.3, we're dealing with multi-step equations. So the ones from the prior sections, you're just doing with one step, two at the most, but now it's a little bit more complicated. It's kind of combining the whole distribution, combining like terms all together, and then you're going to have to simplify and then solve for x. Okay? So let's try the first one. Automatically, when we're thinking of the order of operations, first and foremost, we need to pay attention to our parentheses. Okay? So here are my parentheses right here. So everything else I'm going to bring down so that I can only focus on my parentheses. Alright? And what I do with the parentheses, and I'm going to take it, the number and the sign in front of it, and I'm going to distribute it. So negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Okay? And negative 5 times negative 9, a negative and negative gives me a positive, so it's a positive 45. Right? Before I'm solving for x, let's first combine like terms. So let's look at our like terms. 2x minus 5x, okay, because they both have x, is like terms. So I'm going to end up with a negative 3x plus 45 equals 27. I'm going to rewrite it here. Negative 3x, 45. Okay? Now, I'm going to first get rid of the friends furthest away from x. And then I'm going to go closer in. So the one furthest away, because the 3 is directly connected to my x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on this 45. How is this 45 connected to the rest? It's being added. So the opposite would be to subtract 45. Okay? I end up with this whole thing being brought down. Negative 3x equals 27 minus 45. Is negative 18. Alright? Now, let's look at what else is left with x. Well, x still has one more friend, and that's negative 3. It's being attached by multiplication. So in order for me to get rid of it, I have to do the opposite. So then, instead of multiplying, I'm going to divide by negative 3. This and this will then cancel out, and I end up with x equals a negative and a negative cancel out, and 18 divided by 3 is 6. And that's my answer. Okay? This is a little bit longer than what you're used to in the prior section. This is a very important thing for us to be able to solve. Okay? You'll see it all the time. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 has a fraction. Now remember, in the last video we learned how to deal with fractions. We just do the opposite, which is we flip and we multiply by its flip. So if I want to get rid of 3 over 10, I have to multiply it by its reverse, its opposite, which is 10 over 3. Remember that from the last section? Okay? That way this 10 and this 10 cancel out, and this 3 and this 3 cancel out, leaving me with just this parentheses, which is x plus 2. Because the parentheses is by itself, I no longer need to pay attention to it. I know this one I needed to. The reason why I needed to distribute is because I couldn't get rid of it because this was connected. But in this case, because I could get rid of the 3 over 10, I then can just bring down my equation without the parentheses. Okay? Now again, I did something to one side, so I have to do it to the other. So I have to multiply this by 10 over 3. Okay? And then in order for me to do that, I just put the whole number over 1 and multiply across, which gives me 120 over 3. Okay? 120 divided by 3 is 40. So 40 equals x plus 2. So the only thing I did from here to here is that I did a 120 divided by 3, which gave me 40. Now from here, it's just what you dealt with last section. Because x is by itself, the only thing I have to get rid of is that positive 2. And the opposite of positive 2 would be minus 2. So I'm going to minus 2 on both sides. I end up with 38 equals x. Right? So don't forget to write this down. Please remember to be doing your vocabulary and try page 146, number 14 and 16. Page 146, number 14 and 16, and I will see you in class.